story of Toyota in United States of America. So how Toyota, after becoming successful in their own home country, Japan, and this is quite obvious. Any company, any marketer who achieves tremendous success in their home market, what's their next aspiration? Their next aspiration is to go abroad, is to go international, because ultimately marketing goal is also profit maximization. Customer satisfaction is in its place, but yes, marketing should generate revenues, and marketing is the only revenue generating department of all the departments what an organization has, be it HR, operations, production, R&D, finance. All are revenue consuming departments, but marketing is a revenue generation department. So obviously you want to generate more and more revenue, and the only way to generate more and more revenue is to sell more and more. And to sell more, obviously you have to be in more and more countries across the globe. And that's what Toyota did. After Toyota became a sensational hit in their own home country, so Toyota decided that, okay, why not go beyond the geographical boundary and look out for a market where there is a very good demand for cars. And at that time, of course, US was emerging as a major superpower. There was industrialization on its peak. People had employment, people had disposable income, and America was emerging. So Toyota thought, okay, why not? Why not US? So as far as the market selection is concerned, that was good. It did select the right market which had a lot of potential for selling cars. And at that point in time, every American family wanted to buy a car. So that was the kind of situation that existed in US. So what Toyota did was Toyota wanted to venture into America with its best car, right? So whenever you go to a function or a party, you ensure that you want to be the best, you want to look the best. So you obviously pick up your best clothes. Any company for that matter will do that. Whenever you're trying to enter into a new market, you want to first launch the most successful product you had ever in that foreign market, right? And that's what Toyota also did. It did launch its popular sedan called Toyopet Crown, and this had become a sensational hit in Japan during 1955. So, capitalizing on the success, what Toyota decided was that it wanted to venture USA, because I gave you the reasons as to why US was decided as a prospective market, because US was emerging at that time, and they specifically wanted to launch their car in Los Angeles. So because Los Angeles had a port, and getting the product imported from Japan was also quite easy. They didn't wanted to make car in USA. They just wanted to import cars from Japan and sell it in USA. So all that happened. All that happened. So uh, these are some of the reasons why they wanted to select USA. But the strategy was simple. Toyopet Crown was the name of the model, and the advertisement showed, because you have to develop a advertisement and a marketing promotional mix strategy to communicate to the customer that what is that you're offering. This was their communication strategy, the kind of car that American families have been asking for, and the world's greatest automotive value. So these were the kind of slogans what their ads had. So all said and done, the car was launched. And after that, what happened? The answer is disaster. Now, the reason why this car turned out to be a disaster for Toyota, because of the differences in the characteristics of individuals. Now, by and large, you have some sort of an idea about the physique of people in Japan and people in US. US is known for its obesity. People are tall, people are fat. On the other hand, it's not the case of Japan. Japan, the people are, little short. They are more lean. So imagine the cabin was not comfortable. The ergonomics of the cabin was not at all comfortable for an average American, because an average American is tall and fat, and it was definitely very uh, uncomfortable. It was very tight inside, a lot of congestion, right? There was no proper leg room. The steering was not comfortable for the driver to maneuver. So all these issues happened. So that is where Toyota failed to understand. And second thing, Japan as a country that time was just it was recovering from the disaster what happened after the World War. So it was more of a poor to developing country. On the other hand, US was more of a developed country at that time. So Japan had a different kind of infrastructure. It had all small lanes. no big roads in Japan at that time. But US at that time itself had highways and freeways. So people in USA were driving the car at its maximum speed. And this maximum speed could never be tested in Japan. So at those maximum speeds, the performance of Toyopet Crown was disastrous. The engine was getting heated too soon. All sorts of issues happened. And the third and the final point, the weather. US is more a cold country than Japan. So in winter, the people are not even able to start the cars. So all this led to a disaster, and eventually Toyota failed in American markets. Now the top level management had to take a question: should we continue in USA or should we leave? Then finally, the top level management decided that you can't make a car and say that it will fit for all markets. That's a wrong approach. The right approach is that you need to understand the market first and make the car which fits in that market, which which meets the needs of that particular market. So that's the major lesson which Toyota learned. And very soon it decided to start a factory in USA rather than importing cars from Japan, and came up with a car which was exclusively designed for Americans. So let's see those cars. So this was your Toyopet Crown. So this was what was launched in USA, and this is the car which terribly failed in USA. And this was their poster ad, their you know print ads, which were given in the newspapers. So you see an typical American family being projected in the ad, and this was what was launched exclusively for American market, called Toyota Corona, right? So we are familiar with both the words, Corona and Toyota. So this was called the Toyopet